Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first, hopefully the first and not the last, we'll see how this goes, episode of the Kiwicast. Now, I've wanted to do this for a while, just invite some mates over and have a few talks about 40k lore. It's kind of what we do in the server anyway, so I figured may as well just record it and see how it goes. So, I invite my illustrious guest, Mr. Tripp, to introduce yourself.
Well, the ironic thing is that's closer to my real life name than you think. Almost what?
Okay, fair enough.
And I get
Alright. Well, I figure we may as well just get into it today. So, today's topic is, I figured we'd start out controversial and yet start out with the obvious elephant in the room. And I thought we'd talk about the Primaris Marines. I figured this would be a good opener. So, I propose to you, Mr. Tripp, Primaris Marines. Yay or nay? And it can be about anything. So it can be about, do you like their lore? Do you like their models? Their inception into 40k? So, just anything that comes to your head, really.
well, in the vastness of the weirdness of 40k universe, there are some things that make sense and some that's kind of odd about the. I mean, lore stated, the Imperium has attempted to rework the Space Marines, despite them being the holy creations of the God Emperor.
True, the 21st founding comes to mind.
A.k.a. the Cursed Founding, because, well, that tampering kind of got a little weird.
I think Marines setting themselves on fire was a good example of that.
And they did not have the good sense to keep them.
No, the Imperium is not one for quality recognition.
But, I mean, at least we got the Lamenters and the Black Dragons out of it.
That's very true. I would say those two are definitely worth the cursed rounding.
But so, okay, the thought of actually the Imperium trying to do something new, despite so many lore reasons, maybe we should step back and probably talk about the progress aspect of them, because that seems to be the biggest hurdle the Imperium faces. Actually trying to make new technology and innovate in any way.
That is very true. I think since their heresy, they became very insular and backward. Even during the heresy, there were still new technologies being invented on the loyalist side. But afterwards, it did just stagnate. And it was kind of, the belief of, the technology they have being holy and pure and you can't innovate without it.
It's been slowing to a crawl, but somehow stepping backwards every so often.
Sounds like a typical government planning office.
True. But unlike us, even when we have scientists being scared of AI, we still like to innovate technology. But in the 40k universe, well, they generally don't like that. So, all in all, they've lost technology instead of gaining it.
Yes, that is definitely very true. A lot of technology being smashed or declared heresy or just being lost or forgotten in the heresy. I mean, how many STCs vanished?
Yeah. And very few, though it still happens, technologies being worked on or found. Let's, like the guardsmen who both got, basically high lordship on their own planet.
I do love that story.
But yeah, I guess that's one of the biggest complaints people can have about the Primaris Marines is because, well, the Imperium is really not about making new stuff.
No, that is very true.
It's not completely unprecedented since the Curse founding.
Yeah.
It is pretty weird. But the Curse founding has made an opening to, someone would probably do something. Like, well, they've already tried. So,
Yes.
okay, not as weird.
Yeah. My little problems with the Primaris Marines on the inception to creation thing is a few things of, one, it's been established that Gilliman authorized the project after the heresy. So, takes 10,000 years to create a new generation of stable Space Marines. Kind of makes sense with the lore, especially if it's one guy. But it's also...
near infinite resources, but one guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because he was given access to the original Space Marine gene seed from Luna after the heresy by Gilliman, which is how he created the Primaris. So he did have basically the full genetic template, but it's also 10,000 years, to build it. That's fine. But one of the things that always bugged me was, how did he able to? Because by the time of the Indomitus Crusade, there's like a legion-sized force of Primaris. How were you able to do that without anyone noticing? Where did you get the recruits from? Where did you get the stasis pods to house that many people? It just seems a little bit incongruous for one man to be able to have access to all this.
Oh, and of course, the other thought I have is, what was he doing during the War of the Beast, the arrival of the Tyranids, the awakening of Necrons all over the place, any of the Black Crusades?
It is a fair point. I mean, I think it's established, at least in 8th edition, although I don't remember too much about 9th, but that Core was waiting for the personal, authority from Gilliman to authorize and, make the project go ahead, to release the project. But Gilliman's in stasis and probably dead at the time. So really, you've got a project that you're waiting for someone's permission to use, yet that person's not going to give you permission.
So, weaponized autism.
Yes, I think someone described the Imperium as that once. It made me laugh.
Crawl probably is the very definition of it. Like, he probably liked having the no one's gonna bother me while I tinker with stuff.
That's true. Even in his earliest conception, if you read the Wolfsbane, which has the earliest days of Belisarius Cawl in it during the heresy, he was like that. He liked having his own space and working on stuff by himself. He wasn't one for being disrupted.
So, okay. But that's kind of funny. So, could you imagine, like, what's all that noise? Literal orc invasion with battle moons.
That's also a fair point. Where was he during the War of the Beast? Was he on Mars? I mean, if he was on Mars, he probably should have seen what was happening out the window. Maybe thought about authorizing his project. Maybe.
I was saying, like, War of the Beast, where was he exactly? I mean, maybe there's a few dozen places he could hide.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep in Terra, deep in Mars. Where was he exactly? Oh, hey.
Welcome. We are discussing, we've just talking about how Belisarius Cawl was able to keep the Primaris Marines hidden for 10,000 years.
And why did he keep doing that? Like, at some point it's like, okay, yeah, this looks scary. Maybe I should bring out them. But yeah.
Yeah. You could have just, left a few out the pantry. Didn't even need to release all of them.
I mean, because...
Also, it's another interesting point just on Primaris Marines again. The original Space Wolf, the Gene Seed, it only works with the people of Fenris. because it needs the Canis helix that the people of Fenris have. And I know Cole was able to break that eventually, but to get him to break that, he would have had to have needed Fenrisians to do tests on. So I'm just imagining, did Belisarius Cole just rock up to Fenris and kidnap a bunch of kids, take them back to Mars, experiment on them, and then go, oh, okay, I've solved the problem. I can just...
that is very likely. I mean, the only problem with Fenris is it's a generally low population world in comparison to Imperium, but yeah, you do ask where he got the people from, but, well, Terra alone probably has enough stock of people that no one will notice missing.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Those people, it's like, meh.
I mean, really, the High Lords would notice the fact that they're probably not using space on wherever he's at before they notice the amount of people he took over in the course of 10,000 years.
True, and I mean, population disappearance on Terra and Hive Worlds, I mean, that's just expected. It's a statistic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
so
ironically, it could have been way less suspicious than any Gene Stealer cult BS, so...
Yeah,
not even a blip on the radar. Literally nothing to worry about.
Yeah, so that was one of my other thoughts about the introduction of the Primaris, is sort of when you actually delve into it, the logistics behind coming up with it, creating it, and hiding it for 10,000 years seems a bit incongruous, even when considering how bad the Imperium is with secrets when you think about it. Like in the Watchers of the Throne series on Terra, it has one of the High Lords, or the Chancellor of the Senatorum. He knows about the Grey Knights, even though it's supposed to be a top secret. And he asks, are we going to get any reinforcements from Titan? And he even mentions it's supposed to be the most highly guarded secret, but even though, that information still gets out. So surely, if something is top secret and classified as the Grey Knights could get out to higher echelons of Imperium, surely Cole's little antics would have been noticed by a fabricated general over the years somewhere.
Though it is ironically a two-man operation, and one of them was Gilliman. So we all know who the other person was, too.
Yeah.
As far as keeping secrets go, well, when it's two people and one of them's in stasis, it's just Cole. And if Cole really wants to be left alone, but yeah, it's like, other than the fact that he'd have to be using some deal of resources.
Yes, exactly.
But, of course, I'm just picturing, like, War of the Beasts, the Reign of Blood, all the crazy stuff. I could just imagine that he was just tinkering with everything, like
well, so, I don't know how long it took him to actually get the first, operational units up and running, but just thinking, the first Black Crusade was 1,000 years after the heresy, and that was when Dawn died. So it's kind of, if he had operational units at that point, wouldn't you have thought to bring them out? Like, Chaos is back, a Primarch's just died, maybe?
Yeah.
And of course, the Orc Battle Moon.
Yeah, the War of the Beast.
There's a giant metallic orc face staring at us.
Who cares? Who wants some mojitos?
Yeah, yeah, cool guy. Oh, just make some more oil mojitos. Oh dear.
So
I mean,
he's literally.
Yeah,
so he's literally.
That has to be DEFCON 1.
Yes. I mean, you would have thought at that point it would be DEFCON 1. Like, that would be when the Grey Knights would start debating if they should use the Dead Man switch to blow up Terror at that point. So you'd have thought that call would have just come out.
Some assassins.
Where was he exactly? Like, where was he exactly? Like, Mars, an away station, what?
He was at Tashi Station picking up some power converters.
No, Doritos.
Well, let's not mix the means here.
So yeah, that was my first sort of, when I started reading the Hey Petition Space Marine Codex about Primaris, that was my first sort of questions. And then, the logistics and the implementation and everything about that. And it's all...
And of course,
Carry on.
Cole was also developing, the equipment while he was at it.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, like the bolt rifles and the anti-grav tanks and...
The new dreadnoughts, or was it? Is that what they're calling it? The big coffin.
Yeah, the
robots.
Redemptor pattern dreadnought.
Yeah, dreadnoughts. Yes.
Massive.
Well,
That's what she
yeah.
the less exploding prone plasma weapons. Huh. Very fortuitous.
Also, just as a side note, someone pointed out to me the other day that in the terms of model range now, the Primaris actually have more hover vehicles than the Eldar do.
Really?
Yeah. I think
Wait.
The Primaris have, was it 9, and the Eldar only have 6 in their model range.
Wait, did Cole just remember how to make anti-grav vehicles? I mean, that's probably what just happened, isn't it?
Well, anti-grav vehicles were still being produced. I mean, the Land Speeder, anti-grav technology. The Custodes still used anti-grav technology, and so did the Sisters of Silence with their anti-grav rhinos. But it had fallen out of being able to be reproduced by Forge Worlds and, most common sort of industry. It was so specialized and advanced.
Of course, and that's like I'm saying, that's even more like, so where was he getting all these materials to make this fleet of stuff almost? Yeah, he had to have at least a small fleet to have those.
Oh, he did have
ready.
A giant coffin ship, which he used to carry around his stuff with. It was like the size of a battleship. I think it got destroyed just after Cadia, if I recall correctly.
After Cadia fell?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now you show up, Call. You finally heed the call, Crawl.
That 13 Crusade got me acting strange.
Yeah. So I looked out the front door. I saw the sky split in half. I realized that maybe this was my problem. So I finished my drink and left the house for the first time. Man, the Imperium's changed. Terra used to have plants on it last time I was here.
Hey, where's the Assassin Orm? Oh, they're on different parts of the galaxy now?
Damn.
There was a small war literally in the Imperial Palace?
Hey, where's the Primarchs? I want to talk to them. Oh, gone. Ooh. I should really check the news more than once every 10,000 years. Though it's kind of...
Man.
Yeah.
Wait, orcs are a nearly organized problem now? Terra what-a-nid?
I'd love to have actually... I don't think it's been in the novels or anything, another sidetrack, but to see Gilliman's reaction to all the Xenos races and everything that the Imperium's turned into. So
I swear, Alpha Booster better make a side series.
Just someone showing Gilliman a slideshow, and going, and these are the Tyranids. They've eaten 10% of
these are the Eldar.
Wait, Eldar. I thought we got rid of them. No, they're still here.
And these are the Drukhari. They're like BDSM.
No, he knew about them.
Oh yeah, he did.
And these are the Necrons. They're hyper-intelligent machines.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
And you know how we almost genocided all the orcs and they were all gone? Well, they're kind of back now. We kind of left a few under the sofa, and they kept breeding.
Yeah. We
Well,
almost
that's
killed
not
the one,
new,
but now
but wait,
they're
make-
infinite.
they make new. Wait, they literally made a battle station. What?
Uh,
Orcs together strong.
Although I will say just a positive thing about Primaris, since we're bashing Core and them a little bit. I do like some of their models. I don't like all of them. I think some of them are a little over detailed, and I'm not a fan of the grav tanks. But believe it or not, the standard intercessor model I really like. I like the Mark IV helmet, the leg plates, the backpack. I actually think they look pretty good. And there's
I
a
like the
few.
Mark 6.
Yeah, oh, that's pretty good too.
Oh, I do think they look cool.
Yeah.
And though it's kind of funny that they're shiny and new now. Now they're gonna know how the Tau feel. Oh, and oh boy, I wonder what Cole's reaction to the Tau is gonna be.
Gay Japanese K-pop.
Engage Japanese K-pop, sneak behind them, nickel their designs, and make my own. I just imagine like a Tau Pulse rifle and then just Cole like stamping his own seal onto it without even changing the paint scheme.
Oremamu Shindu.
So I do like some of the Primaris models.
Imagine watching entire television charging you with body pillows.
There's enough heresy in this already. Let's not.
No,
grow
we
it.
need more.
All the heresy.
Heresy is good.
Yeah, heresy is productive. What?
Wait a minute, you're a loyalist.
Shh. We keep that quiet.
Ah.
Hydra Dominus.
Ooh.
So I do like some of the, as I said, the Primaris sort of models. Some of them are pretty cool. Blade Guard are a little bit over detailed. As I said, the standard intercessor is really nice. Some of them's a bit silly though, let's be honest. Like the ATV, like the little freewheel trike thing with the Gatling gun. That's just yeah, that cute weird little thing. That's a little silly.
What's that gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah. Does it have any protection for the driver or gunner? No. What's the traverse angle for the gun? It only traverses in like a 70-degree angle in front of it.
Not 360.
Oh, 60. Oh, geez, it's even less than I thought. Yeah, there's just a few sort of inner things about that. Although, Primaris, main characters, like old firstborn characters turning into Primaris, some of the models are pretty cool. Shrike's model does look like he's going through an emo phase, like even for the standards of the Raven Guard. But Mephiston's model's pretty good. Tigerius is not too bad. Kelgar...
Oh god, Mephiston as a Primaris Marine.
It was originally supposed to be Dante. If you read the thing, they were trying to figure out who they should test the, turning normal Marines into Primaris on. And they're like, oh, we should give it to Dante. And Dante's like, I'm too old. I'll probably die. So they're like, we'll give it to Mephiston.
I mean,
Yes.
There's probably not a lot that would normally kill him anyways. He was practically already a Primaris Marine.
I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move.
I just like Dante being like old man thing of, oh, I'm too old for this. Here, you do it.
I mean,
Imagine
he's literally 1,000 years old.
1,500.
Okay, you continue. Okay, you continue. I won't stop.
Oh no, you carry on.
Imagine you're fabricator general or on Mars, and you get like 2 billion orders of the small ATV thing, and you're like, what the hell am I doing with my life?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to be inventing, to be building awesome new designs. Instead, I'm building this. And just hating yourself every one you throw out the door.
You
Hey,
know,
at least they get cool bolters to make.
true.
Mm.
The new bolt rifle, that's nice.
It-
And the new
how,
armor.
imagine how much time does it take for a forge world to construct a tank? Like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was one of the Armageddon novels, like an old one. It was talking about manufacturing world, and it was saying that they produced, what was it, 12 Lehman Russ an hour? It was like they produced 12 Lehman Russ an hour, like 100,000
That's
Earthshaker shells, like 12 million lasgun power packs. I think they were going over the stats for the Forge World, and it was just like,
That's
yep.
a little too long.
Yeah.
That's a little too long. I mean,
Well,
come on.
That's when you have entire cities literally dedicated to just manufacturing.
Also, you have to remember, they have to chant the holy incense every, 5 minutes.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it
that's
keeps down production.
The production efficiency is like 50%.
Also, it's interesting some Imperial sort of, how much some shit sort of costs to make. Like, I remember they were saying in the Heresy series, like Great Crusade, that, the Gloriana class flagships, the one that each of the Primarchs got, that cost 15% of the output resources of Mars in terms of material, manpower, and facilities to produce one.
One.
Each or in total?
Each.
Oh, each, yes. You said in each, yeah.
Yeah.
I just said that now.
Because Jagatai Khan's was looking over his new flagship, and they're saying, and the Mechanicum's going, this is like 15% of our Mechanicum resources for Mars, and I'm like, holy shit.
Damn.
Like, yeah. But,
Maybe try not to. Maybe try to not to decorate it as much. Maybe lower the material usage.
at least Dawn was
I mean,
polite. He brought his own flagship to the party.
Ooh.
Although they actually did make him a Gloriana class flagship as well, even though he already had the Phalanx. He gave that to Sigismund, and that's the Eternal Crusader, the flagship of the Black Templars. So it's kind of cool.
And I wonder, and of course, speaking of traditionalism, we also heard the schism of like how many Space Marines felt about the new Primaris.
Yes, I think Gabriel Seth's arguments on that one was probably one of my favorites. And it is good that there is a bit of conflict between the two sides, because if the Firstborn just came around and went, oh, these are our replacements, awesome, welcome, have a cup of tea, sit down, that would be more insulting than if they went, oh, you guys are here to replace us. What a bunch of dicks.
So, I have a nice short story.
Mm-hmm.
So, a friend, wanted to go, read some 40K, and he just started learning about it. It's one of the darkest, periods or man. And the first thing he asked me, oh, do they have workers' rights? Do they obey human rights? And I literally muted and went to eat my risotto.
Yes, the Imperium really does not.
Yes.
But hey, at least they don't care. At least they don't give one flying F about your skin color or sexual orientation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Progress!
Finally, after 40,000 years.
Can you
Racism
hold a
is no more.
Yeah.
Racism is no more.
You're all as equally useful as cannon fodder. Now, have this last gun, and please walk into this minefield.
Or, just a literal, almost a cog in the machine. I mean, the servitors are probably closer to a cog in the machine. You're also a cog in the machine in this factory.
There was somewhere that, I can't remember where it was mentioned. I think it was a ship crew, and they had all human crew. And they were saying that the reason that they had all human crew was because it was actually cheaper than buying servitors.
Huh. Why?
Well, because there's so many humans.
I know.
Yeah. See, to replace your brain with a machine and give you like piston arms, that would cost me like, at least $1,000. But if I just pay you like $10 a week, then it all evens out.
Capitalism.
And that's even if you're paid. they feed them.
Oh yeah, and we're deducting 10% of your wages and food, and 10% accommodation wages. In fact, really, you should be paying me for the privilege of working on my fine spaceship. The Imperium. A delightful
And,
place you don't want to live in.
And the servitor is like, IS machine speed go brrr.
At least it's not in the Eye of Terror. I mean,
Oh no.
you're human in the Eye of Terror. Congratulations, you're a slave. We don't even give you the pretense like we do in the Imperium. By the way, you'll probably be eaten, or turned into a demon, or fed into a demon, or
And those are the good options.
yeah. See that warband of Emperor's children over there? They're looking to purchase you. Do you have a way to kill yourself? I would recommend
Not
doing
them.
it now.
Not them. I hate them.
And one group wants to just remove your skin and
Yeah,
keep
and
you
then
alive.
Oh yeah.
Hey, but at least you're not with the Dark Eldar, because they are somehow worse than literal hell.
They are. You'll be
Okay,
spend
back to the
50 years
Primaris.
being you'll spend 50 years being a pincushion.
Yeah. At least the
Okay,
Emperor's
back-
children, it's only 5 minutes.
Okay, back to Primaris, because let's I don't know. I feel like we should at least attempt to keeping the Primaris thing. Okay.
Alright. So, as I said, I like the models. Going back to the lore for a minute. One part of the lore I did kind of like was they mentioned that when the Primaris Marines were first introduced, they would actually lose against traitors and, lose in sparring actions to traditional Marines because all their combat, they had no combat experience, and everything they knew of combat was hypno-inducted into them, while they were
Even
being
though
produced.
they have more gene seed organs, they're taller and
Stronger,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got, don't they have like metal coils or metal springs in their
Yes.
muscles?
Actually, I just opened that up.
Yeah.
The sinew coils, the steel
Ah.
within. So I'm actually looking at their new.
why do they need that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they want something new that's just as superfluous as the acid spit.
Which not all legions actually get.
Some lost that, but yeah.
Yeah. Also, just the coils. I'm just imagining, Belisarius, we accidentally got a shipment of 10 billion springs. What do we do with them? Jam them into their arms.
Yeah.
So they can literally headlock people to death.
They can draw the WWE.
Of course, and now a modification that makes sense. The magnolithic. I
The
can't
what?
say it.
Spell it.
Magnifi cat.
Just type it in the chat, please.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Is that
It's like
the organ that makes them get like super adrenaline before they die?
No, that's the next one.
Magnificat.
What is the Magnificat? Is that the one that makes them?
It's the next growth organ.
Oh,
so
yes.
They're a head taller than normal Space Marines.
Yeah. Which, interesting, is something that the Raven Guard, or Corax, did when he created this failed batch of Super Marines during the Heresy. I think they were slightly taller than regular Marines as well.
Ah, yes, the stealth boys are bigger for some reason.
Yeah, that's. Yes. Let's make them so they can go sneak. Ah, yes.
And then the
Oh,
last one is
Forex.
the Belisarius Furnace,
Ego match.
we're gonna literally grow combat drugs in the body.
No, the Primaris Marines are just Belisarius Call's secret plan to create drug mules to ship his meth around.
Okay, so Belisarius Cole is now Reagan.
He's going to sell illegal narcotics to all the Tau and Eldar, get them all hooked. But anyway, yeah, so I do like that even the Primaris Marines were kind of inexperienced sort of combat noobs. And I like the fact that the Traitor Marines were able to actually fight them evenly for a while, but as I said, after 100 years of combat, that just sort of apparently disappeared, and now they're superior to regular Marines in every way again. Which is another sort of, it feels a little bit devaluing of all these, regular Marines' achievements and sacrifices and, heroics, when the new breed can just come along and go, everything you can do, I can do better.
I just noticed, living on a Imperial road is like the Chinese government's dream. You're constantly being spied on.
Just wait till they have servo skulls flying around, like downtown Beijing. So yeah, I don't know. As I said, Primaris Marines could have worked, but even then, GW obviously did it because they wanted a new model line and they wanted, the money and stuff, and they also wanted to address the true scale problem. But if they just released classic Firstborn, like classic Marine kits in the proper size, and just went, yeah, for all these years we fucked up, they're supposed to be bigger, we've rectified that now, you can still use your old models, but if you want a fancy new army of, proper true scale Marines with all the fancy bits, then here you go. How do you think that would have gone down?
Well, and of course, there's the whole, when are you going to continue the story? When are you going to continue the story? Oh, you want us to continue the story now? Okay. Eye of Terror opening, Cadia falling, Gilliman is back, Primaris Marines. There is your progression.
And turns on the Emperor is gay. I don't know. When is that gonna be?
Oh no! The Heresy series has accomplished that one. He wasn't gay. His name was Neof, and he had a Arab waifu who was the mother of the Primarchs.
Yeah.
And apparently the Chaos Gods convinced her to help them eat them across the galaxy.
Well, apparently the Chaos didn't even have anything to do with it. Apparently she just did it all on her own volition because she didn't want them to be puppets to the Emperor. So it's like, congratulations, Karen. You just yeeted your sons to all across the galaxy to shitholes. One of them got nails lodged into his head. The other one became insane and a sadistic murderer. Really good care of your children there, Mum. When you're making the Emperor look like a good parent, you've realized that you fucked up.
Oh, and you've dumped one into a toxic wasteland.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hi, baby Mortarian. Here's this toxic shithole.
Thanks.
Have fun with that.
Don't insult my chapter.
Well, here's the thing. Even the Death Guard of Barbarous admitted it was kind of a shithole.
Yeah, even with that, I agree.
Yeah, it's a shithole, but it's our shithole.
What is more of a shithole, Nostromo or Barbarous?
Barbarous.
I mean, Nostromo at least has buildings. It has power, electricity. Yeah, you're probably going to get murdered, but, you might live a bit longer. I mean, Barbarous...
You want to?
You walk outside. Oh, poison gas, you're dead. You walk outside. Giant acid monster, you're dead. I mean...
I know that's Catachan.
What's the difference?
I mean, correct. Vietnam in 40K. Yeah, I know that planet.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that should be the next one. Catachan.
Well,
I like that, just as part of the 8th edition, like, Imperial Guard lore, that when the Indomitus Crusade got to Catachan, the Catachans had already liberated themselves from the Chaos Invasion. Like, the Chaos Invasion was all gone, and apparently the majority of them were actually eaten by the planet's wildlife.
Well, I guess that explains one thing, why nobody worries about that place, because, I mean, the only people there are already people who fight off the planet, and the planet's gonna fight off whoever comes on.
Just, you've got kind of like Russia having General Winter. Catachan just has the wildlife to back it up.
no, Russia is Valhalla.
Yeah.
Could you just imagine? Oh man, I wish there was like a video of basically demons being banished back into the warp on Catachan. It's like, holy crap! I was attacked by a giant centipede. The plants literally attacked me.
Wouldn't that be
There was
embarrassing if you had to go back to Khorne with that? Like, Khorne,
No.
like, you're a bloodthirsty, you get
a toad
banished back.
exploded.
Yeah.
A toad exploded on me.
Imagine you die from a vegetable and you turn the corn, and the corn is like, you died to a freaking vegetable.
Yeah.
Impressive. What's gonna be next?
And then there's 20 other people. We were all sent back by a giant toad.
Just Khorne just slapping his head and going, I can't even be bothered, like, ripping you apart. Just go away. Leave.
Oh, I was actually shot at by the Catachans. Oh, okay. And then they stirred up a hornet's nest and they killed me.
Yeah, I got stabbed to death by hornets.
Oh, I hate horns. Oh, don't mention that. I have phobia against them.
Oh.
Okay.
Mm,
So I don't know.
anything-
I think that would be a good.
anything
I think that'd be a
flies.
good next topic episode.
Hmm.
Catachan.
No, giant hornets.
Yeah, giant hornets.
I mean, there
Giant
is
hornets of Catachan.
Wait, no. Giant hornets. There is one actually. In 40k.
I guess there is that Xenos Liberotica book, or whatever it is, that has listings of all the Xenos and life forms in the Imperium. I saw someone flicking through it. It has like entries for the Hrud and all of the Nephilim and all the, subspecies of aliens. The ones that the Imperium didn't genocide during the Crusade.
Well, no, see, they weren't intelligent things that could wield guns.
I don't really think that's the standard, though, because considering, if you remember
Well-
the start of the War of the Beast, there was that planet infested with slightly sentient giant rats, and they sent the Imperial fists in to cull them all. It's kind of like, if you're not human, then, or a waifu, then bugger
Well,
off.
I mean, we have to keep the grots around because we got to eat. Oh, and could you imagine the corn demon going like, "I was killed by wild livestock." On
Trampled to
Catachan.
death by a cow.
Well, it was a reptilian aggressive cow.
Oh, no, I never killed one. How were you killed? I was kicked to death by a horse. What? I was facing the Attilian Rough Riders. They didn't even stab me, the horse just trampled me to death.
There it is.
Oh, hey, you got off
that's
lightly.
crazy.
At least you didn't. At least you didn't get to the Greed Riders horses or whatever they're riding.
I
Those
found
things
the
are
hornet.
mean.
Uh,
you
what's-
found-
Yeah, the video. And
Oh.
there it is. Yeah. Dragon Hornet. It weighs 40 tons.
oh,
Yes,
delightful.
technology.
What's that? Just thinking of giant wildlife. The Cretaceous, the homeworld of the flesh terrors. when they landed, they were chasing orcs that had crash landed on the planet. And when they got there, all the orcs were dead, killed by the wildlife. But what convinced Emmett to stay and colonize the world was the fact that his scout company was basically torn apart by the wildlife. And he was like, man, this is pretty hardcore. And then when he discovered human tribesmen somehow were living on the planet, he's like, dude, these guys are pretty badass if they can live here.
There must be New Zealand.
Let's make them Primaris.
No, Emmett's like, yoink, this planet's mine now. Claim right of conquest. All these people are going to be my new recruits. And every year we're going to go and hunt the dinosaurs. I like that they literally did that. There was like a flying T-Rex that was flying around. And Emmett was determined to kill it for the sake of, to see if he could. So he basically dropped out of a gunship in his Terminator armor and landed on it with his chain fist and hacked it to death.
Oh, right, I remember. He's the... Wait, isn't he the guy who's ridiculously huge?
Yeah, the founder of the Flesh Tearers. He had like a custom suit of Terminator armor with 2 chain fists as his primary weapons.
Right.
He was the one who told...
Armor.
Yeah, Terminator armor. He was the one that when... Not Dreadnought, Terminator. Tactical Dreadnought. He was the one that when Gilliman introduced the Codex for the Blood Angels, he literally told Gilliman to go fuck himself to his face, and then Gilliman got really pissed off and punched him into a wall. So Emmett got up and kept doing it, and Gilliman just left. He was just like, okay, I punched you into a wall with a Primarch strength, your power armor's bratted, you've got like multiple broken bones, and you're still swearing at me. I just can't be bothered today, and wandered off. Although it's kind of interesting that... Carry on.
I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah, I didn't hear no bell. Primarch or not. But it's quite interesting that Emmett of the Flesh Tearers was the first one to, denounce the Codex. Well, the first, Blood Angel to denounce the Codex. And yet 10,000 years later, his successor, Gabriel Seth, was the first the first regular, chapter master of the Blood Angels to denounce the Primaris Marines. So I guess kind of distrust of new things is part of the Flesh Tearers' genetic line.
Well, I mean, do you think the Blood Angels want new things? The first new thing they got was the Black Rage.
Well, depending on how your perspective goes, it can be a good thing. If you're insane like the Flesh Tearers or the Blood Drinkers, it's a nice thing. If you're more sane, then it's probably not the best thing.
Well, unless you're Mephiston, then it's actually pretty okay then.
Yeah. Oh, he got hacks though. He got psychic power hacks.
Wait, how did you overcome the Black Rage? I was pinned down for about a week.
Yeah.
I guess I really couldn't get myself or anybody else killed.
Although during the first time the Black Rage happened on Cygnus Prime, there were a handful of the Blood Angels who were able to resist it. Only a handful of them, through sheer force of will. Like the High Chaplain of the Blood Angels, when the rescue party that was hiding behind a bunch of gnolls to, keep themselves away from the effects of it, found him. He was still sane. He was on the verge of going insane, but he was still sane enough to, be sane.
Okay, I guess that's one reason why the Blood Angels like the Primaris. Apparently, that's a little bit more stable with the Red Thirst and Black Rage.
Yes. Just like the Wolfen thing of the Space Wolves, it's another thing I dislike about the Primaris, coming back around to Primaris. They getting rid of everything unique about the later chapters. Like, if the Blood Angels, they retconned it again a knife to give it back to them. But when 8th came out, the Blood Angels, Primaris were immune to the Thirst and the Rage, the Space Wolves were immune to the Wolfen, and that just kind of gets rid of any specialness about them. Like, Gabriel Seth himself said a really profound quote. He said, Gilliman's trying to turn us all into Ultramarines with red armor. And it's kind of a good point. Like, Games Workshop were trying to turn all of the chapters into Ultramarines with different color armor by removing all of their unique traits about them. They realized how stupid it was, and then...
I hate the Ultramarines.
So they're Matt Warding, even though Matt Ward's not involved.
Yes. But eventually they, by night came around, they kind of got smart again and reintroduced all the flaws back. But the fact that they tried to do it in the first place is just a bit insulting to all the, different chapters out there. And yeah, Ultramarines, 5th edition onwards, they did kind of go downhill. I like the heresy lore for them, because they've gone their best to try and make them not Mary Sues and not, stupid, generic, boring guys. But, I still remember that Matt Ward quote of, every chapter wishes they could be the Ultramarines. And
who cares?
Yeah.
Yes. What's red and hairy and pissed off all over? It's the Space Wolves and the Imperial Fists after hearing that.
Better than the red.
Oh. Also, do you reckon there'll be Chaos Primaris? Because I don't think they're... Because they've re-released... Yeah, they probably will. Because the new Chaos Marine kits are true scale. Which is what I think they should have done with Firstborn Marines. Because I've seen the new Chaos model line. They're actually bigger and, not as big as Primaris Marines, but they're bigger than the old kits were. So it's kind of a... Do they need them?
Everything that the Imperial has, Games Workshop is gonna be control copy, control paste to Chaos.
But they'll wait until it's like out of date and slightly, not as good as the current Space Marine model line, just so Space Marines have the tournament advantage in games. Yeah, they probably will.
And when they need to, redesign it to like a Primaris to Chaos, they're gonna be like enter the art studio and give them like 50 kilograms of cocaine, $200. Just make it as worst as you can, thanks.
Yeah. Just add 500 spikes.
Maybe Fabius Bile is gonna get a dead Primaris Marine and then cook up his own version of what they do.
Oh, the interesting thing is, while Bile doesn't have Primaris Marines yet, some actually Chaos do. The Thousand Sons kidnapped a squad of Silver Skulls, I think it was, and I think the Black Legion managed to get their hands on a couple of living Primaris as well.
Ooh.
If I remember my lore correctly. I definitely remember the Thousand Sons have got some, and I'm pretty sure the Black Legion have some too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Considering how long Abaddon takes to, get things done, it'll probably take a while before he can reverse engineer anything.
Yeah.
Well, very serious. I mean, we've got Fabius Bile.
I don't like Bile. I think I don't like him as a character, and I think he's kind of a Mary Sue in terms of chaos. And, the
Mary
stupid
Sue?
retcon. Oh, he's like, oh yes, I'm just the greatest gene right ever. I was able to clone the Primarchs, and I was able to, recreate Horus just using bits of his corpse. I've created
I am the big boy.
Yeah. And also
he literally gave Praise the Infinite a Fulgrim clone.
Yeah. He seems like a Chaos Mary Sue in the fact that, I can do anything the plot wants me to, or I can do anything I want. And, you assassinated me? Guess what? It was just a clone. I've cloned myself like 100 times, so there's 100 clones of me running around.
I have body doubles. I am Saddam Hussein, Tumpedo. I can do anything except I can conquer Terra. Yeah, of course, and no one can.
Bitch, I can clone anyone. I wasn't asking that. Behold, Araman 2.0.
I just imagine the professor from Futurama when I think of Fabius Bile. I can wire anything into anything. I'm the professor.
Good news, everyone.
Yeah, good
I
news.
I have spliced an orc with an Eldar.
Oh God, what is that thing? Kill it.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
No.
Oh,
Thank goodness.
I'm gonna tell Games Workshop to work on that stuff.
Oh dear.
An orc spliced with an Eldari. How is that gonna
That's
look?
heresy that not even Zinch wants.
That's heresy beyond.
I imagine Eldari spliced with Tau would be something Slanesh would be interested in for scientific purposes.
Wait, no. I think Mass Effect already had that.
Did it?
Yes.
The
I
Asari.
never played Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I do like the Asari. A race of all-female bisexuals who are culturally obliged to bang other species. I mean, yeah,
How do you
sign
spell
me
that?
up.
How do you spell that?
Yeah.
Else. Can you spell it?
Asari.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Why I said yes, that's Tau mixed with Eldar. But yeah.
Yeah. So I feel Belisarius. Well, Belisarius is a bit of a Mary Sue, but
Yeah, I mean,
Fabius is a bit of a Mary Sue. I do
Ooh.
like they finally retconned.
the Primarchs are a bit of a Mary Sue.
They have enough. They are, but they have enough flaws to at least keep them.
They have enough. They have enough proof.
Oh, okay. I
to
guess.
actually prove it.
I guess
that
when
it's something.
everyone fails so hard, does that really make them a Mary Sue? I mean, the Emperor is still on the throne, so you know.
Yeah. Also, I love the Abaddon quote about Horus and the heresy. Horus was weak. Horus was a fool. He had the galaxy in the palm of his hand and let it slip away. And
it's
then,
Abaddon.
yeah. And then it points out, it took like Horus 7 years to basically split the Imperium, destroy it, and reduce it to a stagnant empire. It's taken you 10,000 years to get out of fucking Cadia, Abaddon.
Blitzkrieg.
Yeah. Blitzkrieg versus trench warfare. Yes, it is rather silly. Well, I think we've kind of coming across the time limit.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any other things they would like to mention about Primaris Marines? Or anything, since we kind of went off topic, but be honest.
We always went off topic.
Yeah, the topic was kind of a guideline. I'll be honest, I kind of didn't expect it to be followed. I know myself enough to know that I'll get distracted.
Yeah, we went from Primaris and a beeline to. We went from Primaris to a beeline to Adeptus Mechanicus, then Battle.
We had to. Crawl made them.
Oh, well, in summary, some of the Primaris Marines models are pretty cool. Rest of them are a bit silly. The Lord's stupid. And Belisarius calls a Mary Sue. Fabius Biles, bit of a Mary Sue douche. And Barbarus is a shithole.
And Abaddon apparently makes quotes. Fun fact.
Alright, well, I think that's a good inaugural episode. We shall see how this does. And I guess we shall return next week. Unless something disastrous happens. You never know.
Disney's